Yes, sir. Welcome, everybody, to the 116 Live right here on Holy Culture Radio, channel 154 here on Sirius XM. Listen, man, we're so happy y'all are tapped in once again. Welcome back. We're happy that y'all are coming back for all these episodes. Y'all know these episodes are something special in real life. So we're happy that y'all are here. My name is Mia, and I am your guest host for this episode, man. Quick fit check, I wanted to do something more comfortable because y'all make me feel like I'm family. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be chill and relaxed. This is actually one of my favorite hoodies. Shout out to my bro, DeBaron Hughes, and his dope brand, Grace and Peace. I want to rock it because, I feel real comfortable sitting here. But y'all, listen, I want y'all to sit back, relax, get your friends involved, everything, because y'all, we're having some great conversations here. Summer is here, y'all, and y'all know what that means. Reach Records family, y'all know what that means. If you don't know what it means, I'm gonna let you know, okay? So listen, the Summer 23 playlist has been rolling out, y'all. Have y'all been enjoying these songs, y'all? Like, listen, it's like every playlist just gets better and better, y'all. And listen, we're just all talking, having people on the 116 Live talking about the songs, talking about life, culture, music, being the movement, everything under the sun, and we're so happy that y'all are tapped in right here with us. Y'all, I got two very special people, man. I'm gonna do a slight intro for both, okay? So here's what I got. So for one of these guests, I met her in 2018. Actually, I'm gonna take it back a little bit farther. So I actually was recording my show, M&M Live Radio, and shout out to my engineer, Kimo. He was like, yo, like, have y'all heard this song, Fuego? And I was like, what? I was like, who is this? He was like, yo, this girl, she's fire. She's going to blow up. And I was like, okay. So then a couple of days passed, and A3C's happening here in Atlanta. And I meet this girl. I'm like, yo, what's going on? She's like, yeah, I'm working A&R at Reach. And she started dropping out music. She had this song called I Gotta Live coming out. And I'm kind of like, yo, I thought in my mind, I said, if Reach does not sign her, they've completely missed out on an amazing opportunity. And then one day, we kept seeing each other at events. We just happened to tap in and be just real good friends over time. And then we're at Aha Gazelle's music video shoot. Hello. And she sits my sister and I down and is like, yo, like, what are y'all doing Monday? And I was like, we're just like, just chilling, what you got going on? And she was like, I want y'all to come to my signing party. And I was like, you getting signed to who? Who signed? And she was like, yeah, like Reach is signing me. And y'all, it's just been up since there, been able to see her grow through the entire process. And then our next guest, I was introduced to his music through the Summer 20 playlist. A Little Longer was probably my favorite song on that playlist. And I got the chance to, on my show, I got the chance to interview him and The Truth for their project Bridges. They were on our show and we were able to talk with them. And ever since then, he was just dropping just heat. And I was kind of like, man, I'm so happy that I was able to be introduced to this Afrobeat sound. Like, he's a superstar in the making. And I was like, yo, like, I'm so excited to be able to introduce to his music. And then here it is. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about me, okay, for real. I'm happy to say this on the show. Listen, okay, so I have predicted, listen to me, y'all. Listen real close. I've actually predicted RG signing, Wande signing, and Hovey signing. I should really start a Reach Records predictions page. I really should, because I've been right about every single one, except about Limoblaze when he got signed. I was like, yo, I did not see that coming. How did I miss it? But however, it made so much sense for them to sign him because he adds a fresh sound to the roster. And I have both of these guests on the 116 Live right here, right now. I got Wande, Limoblaze here on this show. What's going on, y'all?
Hey.
How y'all feeling?
What's up, people?
Hey,
I'm feeling good. You're so kind. Thank you for the introduction.
No, I had to do that because I don't know. I feel like with everyone, even on the Reach roster, everyone has grown tremendously. People are being brought on, and I had to acknowledge where the genesis of how we met, how I got introduced to your music, and that's just so important. So therefore, we're able to talk about new music and like where you guys are today and everything. So how summer's officially here, y'all. So how's summer been treating y'all?
It's been great for me. I think the weather in Atlanta is really hot. I didn't expect that.
Yes? It's more hot than like what you're used to?
Oh, no, I live in London. Unless we're having a heat wave, I don't think it's this hot.
Oh,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
No, that's crazy.
So,
used to this. Like it's always this hot. Like honestly.
Nah, I didn't expect it. So I came here with a lot of hoodies, jackets.
Oh, no.
That has been crazy.
Nah, man. man. It's good. Well, now you know, and that's good.
Yeah.
At least you got that. I wonder how summer been treating you so far.
Yeah, summer's been pretty cool. Just been doing like different shows and stuff like that. And yeah, on the opposite, ironically, I was in Texas, so this ain't even hot. Texas?
No, listen, Texas.
Wait, what?
No.
It's worse?
Texas is irritatingly hot. So
Texas
then
is
you
like-
start getting
I'm going
mad.
to Houston tomorrow.
Okay, so here's why I always interpret it. So I think Atlanta or Georgia is like a moist hot, but when you go to Texas, it's like a dry heat.
It's just like you're in the car, the AC is not even working.
It's like-
it's like a joke.
It's a whole nother level. Okay, so summer being here, do you guys have like anything on like your summer wish list? Like anything that you want to do, anything you want to do like during your downtime while during this summer?
Definitely collabing with like more women. So this
yeah.
summer is just kind of like having fun, calling it Holy Girl Summer.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that's pretty much what I want to kind of do this summer. Just one, do the shows, and then two, like collab with all the girls, like meet up at some point.
Yeah,
and make
right.
a song type stuff. So
A whole moment. What about you?
Man, life is moving. I'm on tour, so I'm excited for all of that. I want to see how all of that plays out. This is my second tour on a global level.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what to expect. It's like bigger venues this year.
Yeah.
We sold out a few already, so that's exciting.
Let's go.
I think maybe the only thing on my wish list right now is I miss my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has a 9 to 5. She can't be out here with me.
Yeah.
It's always sad. Hi, baby. If you're hearing this.
No, I want to talk about that even really quick, because I know both of you guys just recently celebrated with your spouses a year in marriage, and congrats to you guys. So with both of you guys now entering in this marriage season, what has been the biggest lesson that y'all have learned with being married?
that's a good question.
Oh my God. It's been a lot of lessons, honestly. But I think I wake up every day realizing that there's deeper levels to loving someone. Like you think I love you so much, and then you wake up tomorrow, I love you even more.
Yeah.
And then it's like next tomorrow, because you just get to know this person more and more, and you learn this person every day. It's like a never-ending journey. And I think being married just helped me come to the realization of you're gonna keep learning the person you're with every day. It's a never-ending journey.
Yeah. What about you, Wande? What's
Yeah.
been the biggest thing you've learned?
I think the biggest thing I've learned is just the importance of marrying the right person. I think I've seen so many scenarios where I'm grateful for Darius, and so I'm just like, man, like if this person wasn't patient, or if this person was like arrogant, I don't know, just different things like that. Like a whole bunch of scenarios could go really left, really fast. And so I think I really see the importance of like, especially the whole equally yoked, marrying someone who really loves God for real, and just different things like that. I just see the importance in so many areas of life, because as you, like how he was talking about, like you get to know each other very well, and you really do life together.
Yeah.
Like if that person was just kind of like on the fence about God or whatever, like that's not gonna last whenever it's time to do life for real, or you have actual like disagreements and stuff like that. And so their core foundation is really, really important. So I see the importance of like really not compromising and being like, oh yeah, it'll be fine. Nah.
No, yeah.
I don't mean to throw shade at anybody, but me being married just made me realize how foolish I used to be. Because like I had times when I used to maybe go after some things or some persons, and I thought, oh, this is what I wanted, and God was just looking at me like, you foolish child. I've got the perfect plan for you. And just being married, I just realized God's plan is just so perfect.
No, for real. Absolutely. Yeah. So when it comes to now having this year of marriage, and shout out to everyone who's married, who's tuned in. And one thing I love about even the CHH space is the fact that unlike mainstream, that kind of like talks down like, oh, you can't be married to the same person for the rest of your life. Like, you got to keep your options open. I love that our space is the complete opposite. Like everyone encourages each other being married. What's the best part about being married?
I think having a best friend with you all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's great just having that best friend that's like, y'all just love each other, y'all know each other so well. And so yeah, it's just great. It's like that's your person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to going home every day.
Yeah, right.
Because I know I have my best friend waiting for me at home. We share everything. We talk about everything. We tell we share every story. It's just amazing, because I was just telling Bees earlier today that I'm texting my wife every hour of the day. Like if we're not together, we're texting almost every hour of the day, and it's just amazing. to like if something comes to mind, the first person I want to tell about it is my wife.
Right.
So it's amazing.
It's a beautiful thing, yo. And I hate that. I used to hate hearing friends of mine say things like they could never see themselves married, or like, people who don't value things like that. Cause it's like, why when God has somebody specifically for me? You know what I'm saying? Like, why when he's carved someone out to help me and me help them? Our lives, we both level up. Like both of y'all have leveled up in life because you have someone who's able to help you, be there for you, so on and so forth. So I love that for the both of you. Okay, so when it comes to now music wise, y'all have just like busy careers, like you said, world tour and like, festival season with, of course, like, the shows coming up. How has that been balancing like, like marriage life and even like, even like learning to rest in cases like that, like when it comes to work? How has that been balancing career and personal and being productive, but also resting, like that whole sphere of work or for your lives?
Yeah, I think you learn as you go. I think I'm grateful because last year I was really big on systems. And so now those systems are coming through in terms of just like, we like rerouted our management system. So like making sure like Nage, she's on top of the day-to-day stuff.
Facts, yeah.
Aaron's on top of the overall overarching ideas and stuff like that. And so just different things like that help catch things. Or like now, like I always make sure I have a road manager. Because before it was like I had different people on the team, but somebody would act as a road manager, but now it's a dedicated person. And so just different things like that assist, because then now I'm not thinking of a million things. I'm focused on rapping and ministering and like making sure I'm like covered and protected. And so I think that's helped a lot, because then I have the energy to like love my husband properly, because I'm not just like completely worn out of life. And so just different things like that, because if you don't have that and you're doing everything, then you're just gonna be like, I don't want to talk to anybody. Like, I'm tired. And so I think stuff like that has helped a lot. And you just learn as you go, kind of.
No, that's real.
Yeah, definitely. I think you learn as you go, because like last year I had a terrible experience, because it was my first time going on tour, and the one thing that I didn't plan for rest. It's crazy. From like July until December, I was in a different country almost every week.
Man.
And I broke down at the end of the year. I broke down, and I also barely had time to spend quality time with. Although I was always traveling and coming back and making sure I'm staying with my wife, but I felt like I would have loved more time to spend with her. And so I learned from my mistakes last year. So this year, my management team, we figured, we have to plan for rest. So if you're planning a tour, you have to make sure in between these dates, you put time for you to actually rest and be with family and all of that stuff. And then we have to turn down probably like 60% of the bookings that we get, because I don't want to be everywhere. I don't want this to become like a task. I want to keep enjoying it. And without rest, I don't think I'll enjoy it for a long time.
Yeah. Has it been a struggle to prioritize rest? Because like, you want to get things done, but how has that been, be able to prioritize just being still for some days?
It was really difficult last year, because like I said, it was the first time when me going on a tour on such a level. So it's also the aspect of you just being excited and all of these opportunities are opening up. So you want to take everything. You wanna just lay your hands on everything. But like I said, I learned last year, and I'm really just in a place where I'm just really comfortable, and I know that God's got me.
Facts.
I don't need to be under any sort of pressure to take whatever is on my table. I could get this many offers on the table and not take any of them, and I'm not panicking, thinking, would I be provided for? Like, I just know God's got me, and I'll be fine at the end of the day.
No, that's absolutely real.
Rest.
Yeah.
I've been even trying to prioritize rest too, like even like making sure it's on my calendar, like like you're resting today, because I was taught this, that when you don't rest, it means that you don't trust that God will handle it, even if you don't do anything. And the one thing I'd never want to give off is the impression that I can outwork God, you know what I'm saying, that I could do more than what he could do. So thank y'all for being able to even touch on that, because I think what people think is, with you guys living such busy lives, the fact that you just always on the go and there is no rust and it's hustling, like, rise and grind, got to get this done, but also like, being able to make time for family, your husband, your wife, family, and just even time to be still for a minute and just to be with God. So I'm happy that y'all touched on that. But listen, we have a lot of ground to cover, y'all. We have talk about y'all's new song that's coming out on the playlist. We're also going to dive into some other things. And listen, y'all tuned in at an amazing time. Don't go anywhere. We're right here on the 116 Life, right here on Holy Culture Radio and Sirius XM Channel 154. We'll be right back. What's up, everybody? You're back once again. Welcome back. We missed you. We're glad that you're back here with us right here on the 116 Live, here on Holy Culture Radio, channel 154 on Sirius XM. I'm here with Limoblaze and Wande, y'all. Listen, we're here chopping it up, talking about so many different things. Now, listen, I'm so excited to talk about this because not only does it ties into your song, which we're going to talk about a little bit later, but there are two things I want to talk about, two sides of the coin. The first side of the coin I want to talk about is very interesting, yet so hilarious to me. I want to talk about people accusing y'all of being less than holier than what you already are. I've seen Wande have her share when like things like "Don't Worry About It" came out, and them saying that y'all this couldn't be a Christian music video because y'all aren't covered up enough, or just like different things like that. In Limo, I've seen people talking about you doing witchcraft, and it's just like, I truly watched that video. I truly laughed out loud because the things that I've seen and heard, not even just seeing y'all and following your career, but even just recently, has been outlandish. It just blows my mind. So I want to ask you guys, what are your initial reaction? What was your first initial reaction when you first saw a comment like that? What was your initial reaction?
I mean, recently seeing the video of someone saying that I was practicing witchcraft, I really just started laughing.
It's hilarious.
The video itself is so funny and so ignorant.
Yeah.
Because like she was talking about, it sounds like, she was literally referencing a language in Namibia.
Yeah.
And she was saying so you're calling a whole tribe of people witches because you ignorant about what it is. But I just laughed. I laughed about it. Right now, I get a lot of those comments and they don't even move me. I just laugh when I see them. I like them because like, y'all keep doing it. You're helping the algorithm. The more comments you put up, the more people that are going to see my stuff. So keep doing it. I'm not moved by it because also I had a lot of learning from Lecrae and just watching him move through the years. I don't think there's anybody who's received more of this than Lecrae. And I've had the opportunity to be like really close to him and see how he reacts to these things. I remember the first time that I experienced stuff like this, I went into a panic attack. Like my anxiety kicked.
Dang,
off. It was crazy. I was confused. I remember deleting all the apps from my phone, deleting Instagram, deleting even YouTube. It was like people were on my YouTube page saying he's Illuminati, he's doing witchcraft. And the first time I panicked, like I had a serious anxiety attack and switched off my phone for like the whole day. But now I just sit and I just laugh and I'm like, I'll keep doing it. I know who I am, so I'm not even bothered. I know my relationship with Christ. He who sits in heaven laughs.
Laughs loud, for real.
Yeah.
What about you, Wande?
Yeah, it's really just comical because like it'll be just like, what do you have to say at this point? Especially too, because like I'm someone who's actually very particular. I go over what is even necessary.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff I do is not even necessary in terms of like, like you don't have to wear a long sleeve shirt or whatever and stuff like that. And so it's just really funny to me because then people will still make nonsense comments and then it's like, it's really funny because I could have been doing this, but but it's all good at the end of the day. Like, as he said, it helps the algorithm. So, hey, you helping the video get seen, help more people see Jesus. And I think I don't know. It's just really funny. It's just kind of like, out of all the comments that come to your mind, like why is this coming here? But I think some people just want attention.
That's really what it is. People just really want attention about it.
I've seen some people, because I think one time I responded and then the person was like, "Oh, you responded to me, yay!" And I was like, "What is wrong with you?"
It's so funny because this happens all the time. I was even talking to Anatolia the other day and she said the same thing. That someone dropped a comment on her page and then she DM'd the person and said, try to explain, and the person goes, "Oh my God, I'm such a big fan. Thank you for responding." And for me, when I see a lot of these comments, it's just like, I have a saying that I never look down on any human being unless if you're a troll. And I absolutely do look down on you. I think you're a piece of work and I look down on you and I am not going to acknowledge your existence. One of my favorite features on Instagram is the restrict.
Oh yeah,
I love
that
the restrict button.
I love it because
it's funny too.
You're still able to see what I'm doing, but it feels like you're in this glass house. You're screaming. Nobody can see you. Nobody can hear you. You can see all the thoughts. I love it.
The funny part to me too is so then whenever I go through future comments, I'll see a comment and then it'll be like, this person's restricted. So I'm like, oh, this person talked crazy before? Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Well, I had to restrict you on that one. Okay, so how did you guys get to the point where, like you said, like I'm happy that you were able to push past and God's grown you past, like, having anxiety and things like that. How did y'all get confident to be able to shrug off those? Like, what led you to be able to grow from, okay, these comments are a little bit much, okay, I have to delete these apps, to now being like, man, it's funny at this point?
Yeah.
I mean, for one, I've got way too much testimonies. Like I've gotten way too much testimonies of what the music is doing. I've been on the road. I've met people. I've seen people testify about what the music has done for their lives. Those are tangible. All of this thing is just nonsense. I can't pay any attention to it. And also, it's just like growing deeper in my relationship with Christ. Like I know who I am. There's no second guessing who I am. I know for a fact who I am in Christ. So nothing is gonna even shake me.
Yeah, big facts. Knowing who God says you are, like, there's nothing to question at that point. It's like, God sent me here. I'm doing his mission. Yeah. It's all good. And I think also just having pure intentions before you create. So like, if you know that, like, hey, whenever I created this with the intention of giving God glory. I'm doing my own checks and balances before I put something out, like have my own personal accountability and stuff like that. Then at that point, it's like, I have nothing to question because I already went through all these different checks before I even put this out to the public at the end of the day. So I think just knowing who God says you are and knowing, like, whenever I created this, it was for God to get the glory. Yeah.
And I'm, besides the music ministry, you want to know my life? I'm faithfully serving in my local church. I am a faithful husband of one wife.
Talk about it. Yeah.
Jesus is happy with me. My wife is happy with me. Your opinion don't count.
Yo, for real.
It just can't.
It just can't. No, so okay, so that's one side of the coin. And now I want to talk about the other side of it, which is the fact that you guys have received such an immense amount of love, not even just in the States, but all over globally and things like that. Limo, I saw on your Instagram, you were somewhere with Caleb Gordon and your wife, and then a woman walked up to you and was she had no idea that you sang one of her favorite songs. Jira being able to, that got her through some tough seasons. And I know, Wande, you've seen things, on people DMing you and people showing you love. And it's one thing to even like see it online, but then even to feel that in person when you do shows, when you go to a city you've never been to before, meeting someone who you've never met, show so much love. Is that surreal to you guys? You know what I'm saying? Like, has that ever settled in? Like, have you gotten used to that? Talk to me a little bit about the love side that you get from supporters.
Yeah.
Yo, the love is crazy. I don't think I ever get used to it. Sometimes my experience with it is I just go back home and I'm like, oh, Jesus, humble me, because like the love sometimes could kick your ego if you're not careful. But it's such a beautiful thing just being on the road. I've been to several countries and did a show for the first time and had people pack out the venue, and not just packing out the venue, but you can see the immense desire in these people to just have this fellowship with a fellow believer and with Christ. It is amazing. And then every time these people walk up to me and say, oh, your song did this for me. I was going through this. I was going through depression. Your music helped me get away from depression. I get testimonies of people saying, oh, my child was, he was being wayward. He got introduced to your music and now he loves God. He wants to go to church more. He wants to be more faithful. There's so much fulfillment. I might win a Grammy one day. If I do,
receive it.
None of that is going to compare to the feeling of fulfillment that I get from just people testifying how the music impacts their life, changed their life, how their relationship with Jesus has become better because of my music.
Yeah, you're right.
I love it.
Yeah, it's honestly just like a really beautiful feeling. Like, I was just in St. Louis and like even that like was crazy, just seeing all the people who it's like, wow, you actually know all the words to this song.
Right,
this is crazy.
Yeah.
And so it's just amazing, one, seeing that of like, wow, like you just never know, like after you create a song, right?
Yeah.
It then exists in time, but it can be played at any point in time. Like there's hundreds of people currently listening to one of our songs right now in this very second, currently being impacted in this very second. And so then seeing that in real life with the people who are like, oh, like I listen to this every day when I drive to work, or I listen to this and blah, 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 and like how it affected their lives. It's like, it's just crazy. And then I think one thing that's really beautiful that I'm grateful for too is like, a lot of people have told me a testimony of like my music helps them transition into honoring God, like with their music. Yeah. So they're like, yeah, like I want to live for God. And I realize my music is going the opposite direction, but it was like, I just need something that sounds good.
Yeah, right.
And then they're like, oh, but I found y'all's music. And then it's like, oh, wow, God, I can like now finally honor you in this way.
Oh, that's dope.
And so, and like, and not feel like they have to like not be themselves anymore.
Yeah.
So I think it's really beautiful even that God trusted us with that type of gift to give to people, to use a tool to be like, oh, I can still have enjoyment and excitement and be who God created me to be. But at the same time, I'm singing words that honor God. I'm singing words that bring glory to him. And so, yeah, it's a blessing. It's a gift. I'm grateful for everybody I meet every single time. That's why, like, I'm the type of person, like, I know some people are like, oh, I'm not taking pictures with nobody. But I love meeting my fans.
Yeah,
I'll sit there and I'll talk to them. Like, I love meeting like, all the supporters and stuff because everybody has really crazy stories. And, like, I'm grateful for each person because it's just like, man, like this could not be a thing. So I'm just really grateful just to meet everybody in real life. I usually respond to DMs and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I'm just grateful for how God uses the music to impact people.
No, it's phenomenal. It'll blow your mind when you meet someone who says things like, "Oh, you helped me get through a tough season in my life. Like your song has helped me go through a season in which I thought I would never make it out." You know, like it means something to be able to put names to faces and touch the hands of the people, knowing that like we're all in this together. Like God gave me the message, so if I can give it to you, like we all are in this whole thing together. And I think it's so great, and I think it's really interesting being able to hear you guys see where you are now, because correct me if I'm wrong, both of you guys are Nigerian. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Absolutely. And then usually, also correct me if I'm wrong, usually in like the upbringing, I only know it's like so friends and things like that, of course, like, you know, talking to Wande and things like that, usually your parents want you to be either a doctor or an engineer, things like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but then y'all are, so I want to go back just for a little bit, because you know what I'm saying? Because when you had the desires of doing music, knowing like, you know, of what, like, you know, your culture usually expects for you, what you want and things like that, what was it like pushing against those traditional norms to want to pursue music? So therefore you're bringing you to the point that you are today. What was it like pushing against those difficulties?
I want to hear Limo's story. I feel like I've never heard your story about that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my parents always expected I was going to be a medical doctor, because I was an A student. I've always been an A student in my life. So to my dad, it just made that much sense that if you're this brilliant in school, you're going to be a medical doctor. And honestly, for the longest of times, I also wasn't so certain if music was what I was going to do. Like I knew I had a calling for this. Yeah. But when you live in an African society where you're conditioned to think that you have to go to these many schools to secure your future, there's no place for, oh, I want to be a musician. That's like the most difficult thing growing up in Africa. I mean, even when I wanted to get married, before meeting my wife's parents, I replayed that moment in my head so many times. So what am I going to tell them that I do? So am I going to say I'm an artist? Because it's almost an absurd thing to say in a Nigerian society. I'm like, oh, wow. What am I going to tell them? I've played that scenario so many times that when I finally got there, I had to like tell them a list of all the things that I do. And I had to be like, oh yeah, so like, I have a master's in business management. I have a BSc in biochemistry.
Come on.
I have a diploma in business management. I have so many certifications.
For real, yeah.
Yeah, I do. And then I ended up with, and I also do music. I'd say that part like
slide that in there.
But it's not easy in an African society. And for my parents, they fought against it for a long time. And then we had to strike a bargain at some point. It's like, okay, this is the deal. You're going to do school and make sure you're top of class, and then we'll let you do this music. Okay. So that was that for the longest of times. And then, well, right now, it's like they understand that I'm here now. So my dad calls me sometimes like, oh, this new song you put out, I really like it. Everybody's singing it. So it's amazing, honestly. It is. My mom, up until maybe like 2 years ago, she wasn't still having it.
Really?
After my national youth service, she was like, so when are you getting a job?
Shut up.
But everybody's on board right now.
Yeah, love that. That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really funny because even sometimes I know my parents, they're like mentally like, how are you surviving? It's like, Mom, I make money. Like,
Yeah.
It's really funny because I know they're like always wondering like, is she gonna ask us for money one day? It's okay. But for me, I didn't tell them, so I was like, I don't have time for discouragement. Like,
I don't have time for it, Mom.
I just knew it wasn't gonna be a good conversation. So for me, it was just my actions that kind of led to it, and so kind of similar to that. I just went to school, made sure I got good grades and everything, and in the midst of that, if you're doing well in school, then your parents might want to reward you. So it's like, oh, Christmas. Can I have a microphone for Christmas? And then it's like, oh, can I have a recording software for Christmas? So that's kind of like how they were aware that I had this like hobby.
Yeah.
And so they thought it was just a hobby. And so then I would do talent shows at school as well. And I would invite them out to that, or at church. Sometimes I would perform. And so, yeah, they just kind of viewed it as like, oh, she just really has this hobby, but she's going to school.
Little did you know you were setting them up.
And so, yeah. And so it was funny too, because growing up, I was in a health science academy in track to be a doctor. And then I changed my major, and then my parents were like, and they're like, oh, one day, it's never too late. You can change your major,
Yeah.
And they're like, if you want to be a doctor still, you can. And I was like, nah. But I switched to communications and everything and did that. But that's what I felt God was telling me to do. And it worked out because that specific major I did had a scholarship. And so because I got that scholarship, whenever I ended up interning here, I had an apartment, and then I had like money to survive.
Right.
And so all the things like God orchestrated was in line perfectly to be where I am today. But yeah, I just went to school and minded my business and graduated.
You graduated.
And then I called them one day and I was like, hey, I'm signed. And they're like, oh, okay. So
little did they know. And I love, dang, wow. And I can't imagine because I think one thing that people try to push back and say like, you don't care what your parents think, but like sometimes deep down inside, like you do, like you want your parents to be proud of you and to be able to support you in something that you believe in. So I can't imagine what that resistance felt like those first couple of years. But I think the beauty of it now is the fact that both of you guys have succeeded, are succeeding, and have exceeded, I think, everyone's expectations for what they thought you would have been. So therefore now they see what God saw all along, and now they're able to see that. So now when we come back, now we're going to talk about the music side of things, be able to talk about the song that they have featured on the Summer 23 playlist. Listen, y'all, I'm telling you, we're going to dive all into it. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back here on the 116 Live here on Holy Culture Radio, Sirius XM Channel 154. We'll be right back. And we're right back into it here on the 116 Live here on Holy Culture Radio, Sirius XM Channel 154. That's right, you tuned into the right spot at the right time because we're talking about music. As y'all know, listen, Reach Records family. Even if you're just now learning about Reach Records, we now consider you a part of the family. So we're going to let you know what's going on. So it's summer. And for the past couple of years, y'all, Reach has been releasing these playlists. That's been the soundtrack for our summer. And listen, it's now time for us to have more music, and the Summer 23 playlist is now being rolled out. And listen, y'all, so now I can finally make this news. Okay, so listen, Wande and Limoblaze's song comes out tomorrow, July 19th. Y'all go ahead and mark your calendars, mark your alarms, get ready to stream it. And we're going to talk about this song. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong saying this. Moambe. See, Moambe. Okay,
N in there.
Okay, so talk a little bit about what that even means, and then how you guys came to creating this song.
Yeah, so it means I'm there.
Okay,
and so it's just kind of like celebrating, like wherever God is, that's where I'm trying to be.
Fact, I know that's right.
Yeah, and just
means I'm there.
Yeah, and just also celebrating, like we're just gonna be the light everywhere we go. So like when we pull up, the children got the light. We in the building.
Yeah, facts.
And so it's actually really cool. It kind of started off, I think, last year, I believe.
Last year.
In the Christmas party.
Last year, okay.
Yeah, there was a Christmas party, and Lima was in town, and then we were able to finally collab in real life. And so we went into the studio. We were working. He's hitting up his friends too, of like, let's make sure this is a correct pronunciations, correct translations. And so, but it was dope. Yeah, because it's funny because he's Igbo, right?
Yeah, I'm Igbo.
Yeah, and so. So like I have basic level Yoruba translations to input, and then it's like, okay, let's get a graduate level Yoruba person to fact check these information. But yeah,
I mean, so with the song is like it's a soundtrack of my life in the season that I've been for a while. It's like being a light in every room, and also just me coming to a place where I'm constantly being reminded of the importance of evangelism and just like reaching out to the world and letting more people know about Jesus. So like the song is saying, we're here. The hook, we say, anywhere the Lord needs me,
I'm there.
I'm there.
Yeah.
So wherever the Lord needs me to go, I'm gonna be there. So that's pretty much what it was. And with the way that I approached the song and when we started talking about it is most times I love to make music that I can bring to life on stage. So I'm always looking to make music that, one time on stage, I want to say something and you say it back to me.
Facts.
I want to
Yeah.
communicate. So it's one of those songs where it's just like, oh, yeah, let's make an anthem for the people. So when we play this on stage, it goes off. And it could also be the soundtrack to many people's lives too, because we get to touch on a number of things here and there on the song. We also talked about, I was like, yeah, I got money, but I give it all away to God, to whatever God is doing in time. So if as a person and as a believer, anybody out there, the top of your desires for accruing wealth should not just be about, how I gotta spend, how I gotta live a luxurious life. It should always be, how do I use this to impute in what God is doing in this season.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so I know with the playlist coming out, you guys aren't foreign to the playlist. I know when Wande, you got signed, In Love was the first track. That was like the song of everybody's summer. And then Limo, everyone got introduced to you through the playlist as well. So you guys are used to being a part of the environment of everyone coming together. And then and that's another thing that I love about the Reach Records team is the fact that even though they have such great, like y'all are already the cream of the crop. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all already are great within yourself, but they're not like, let's just keep things here. Like, they are aware of that there are other artists that are doing great. Like, they'd be able to bring everybody in. How has it been being able to see like, friends, peers, being able to producers, like everyone in front and behind the scenes, bringing them in to be able to create these summer soundtracks and these summer sounds for everyone to enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so grateful for stuff like that. Like, I'm somebody who, if you look at my Instagram stories every day, you're gonna see
somebody
one
new.
of my homies.
Wande is very good at support, y'all. Like,
and
for
so
real.
like I just really I actually listen to Christian hip hop because that's my actual musical intake. So I'll be excited when somebody's talented. I'm like, yes, we have more people to add to the playlist.
Facts.
And so I'm just so grateful for something like that. And I think it's really good because exposure. I feel like a lot of times you might psych yourself out and be like, oh, maybe I'm not talented enough or whatever. But it's like, no, you're actually doing exactly what you need to do. It's just lack of awareness. Like, people just don't know you exist. And so I'm grateful that like this playlist can bring awareness to certain artists, so that way they can get more exposure. They can keep going. They won't grow discouraged. And that way, just our genre at large can thrive. And so I think it's a really great situation.
I love it. I totally love it for what it meant for every artist out there. I remember the first time being on Summer Playlist. I think my experience was up until maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the release, I didn't know if the song was going to make the playlist. So I just kept praying, oh Lord, please,
Jesus.
please, let him make the playlist. So I remember what that meant for me. And I'm excited when more artists are able to like get this exposure on this level. So every time the playlist comes around, I'm always like, I'm hitting up Ace. I'm like, okay, so it's like this artist, 3, 4, 5 artists that I like. I want to send you music. Can you see if there's anything here that fits the summer playlist? And I'll land a big one soon. Ace, you're listening to me right now. We are going to land a big one with one of my boys. But I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to the playlist opening up to more African artists, because consciously I feel like that the continent is where I play. The African continent is where I play, and I want to represent for the continent every time, every day, and I want to open more doors to. We have a lot of incredible artists across Africa, and I'm excited for that.
And one thing that I was really looking forward to when you got signed, I was like, oh, so we're about to get Afrobeat heat with Wande and Limo. You know what I'm saying? So I love that you both are stay true to your culture and everything. Have you ever felt that? Of course, not Reach specifically, but has there ever been times when people will try to maybe make you feel like you shouldn't shine out from shine your culture and your upbringing in your music? Has anyone ever tried to, or have you, maybe even you guys, have you ever felt like, oh man, because everyone's here in the States, everyone may not be used to it. Have you ever felt maybe even insecure in that? at any time?
I've never felt insecure, but I've seen crazy things. So anybody who knows me and knows my music, I'm 1,000% like I could make a whole song singing my language. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care who's listening to it. And the good thing is, I've gone to places. I've done shows in Paris, where it's supposed to be like a French country. I've done shows in Congo, and everybody was singing my songs back at me, even in my language. And it's amazing. But I've seen crazy things. I've had people hit me up and say stuff like, I can't listen to your music because you are not singing in English. And the way they frame it, they make it sound like me singing in my language makes it less of the gospel.
Yeah.
So if I say Olua, they're like, why would you say that? I've seen people say crazy stuff like, oh, that is the name of a witch in Yoruba language. I'm like, you are ignorant, but you are loud.
Yeah.
Like, why? People just believe that. I don't know if it's a Western thing, but it's like there's some people who just believe that if you're not singing in my language, then your faith is not being validated. And I just think it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing that I think is so strong is the fact that God is able to move through so many different people, through so many different languages. You'll be able to feel his spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to, like, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes even you'll be so moved by a song, it'll pique your interest. You're like, okay, well, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? And it brings people into you guys' world. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's the unfortunate thing, but the beautiful thing about it is the fact that it opens the kingdom up even more. You know what I'm saying? And therefore we're able to go into other arenas, and therefore we're able to be knowledgeable. Like, y'all bring us into your culture. So I'm grateful for the people who do. Shout out to all the people who accept Afrobeat and accept the culture and accept all the languages that, I know, because like RG, with him being Hispanic, you know, he's being rapping in Spanish, like y'all.
And I love those songs even
and I don't be knowing a thing, but I hit up Google Translate because I want to know. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to know. I know that God is speaking.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know it. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I know God.
You know, it creates a really beautiful experience. Also, like when you're out on the road performing and on stage, you're able to explain the meaning of the song.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so beautiful because they've been singing the songs for so long, and maybe they didn't completely understand everything. And then when you break it down on stage, it makes the experience even more beautiful. And then the message now hits even harder because they've digested this for so long, and their hearts are now open to actually receive the depth of the message.
Yeah. And I love that you even talking about the depth of the message, because from different cities and cultures and races and colors, because I feel like, I correct me if I'm wrong, I've been in the space, the CHH space, for the past 10 years, and y'all have been in it for just as long, you know. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like a shift is happening.
Oh,
like
yeah,
it like you can, I don't want to say feel it, but you hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear it in the music. I know what the songs I've heard on the playlist, you hear it. You know what I'm saying? When y'all hear the playlist, y'all, like you hear like it's like we're getting bolder and bolder. You know what I'm saying? And I want to ask you guys, how has it been seeing that firsthand, being a part of it? Like, you know, we talked about on the past episodes of how like last year's tag was "You Are the Movement" for Reach. And how does it feel to be a part of this movement that God is shifting things and using you guys to be a part of it?
Yeah, I think it's amazing. Like, I get inspired by excellence. So I actually get excited whenever I see people like going hard, being bold for Jesus, and the song goes hard.
Yeah,
because then I'm like, oh, okay, let's go write a song now.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's see it. And so that gets me lit personally to like, it gets me lit because then now I want to sing those songs. But then whenever I hear that, it gets me lit to then go write, because it's like, oh wow, like it's showing this is possible to execute with excellence and like be super bold with your lyrics and stuff. And I think it encourages other people, because like even when I first started my walk, that was kind of like the genesis of 116. They were like ridiculously bold, and it was like, oh, you saying Jesus? I remember it used to scare me. Not scared, but like
you be like hesitant
whenever people said Jesus on a song, because I was like, oh snap, you can say Jesus on the song? Like this is crazy. Like whenever I would hear like Lecrae say Jesus in like his songs and stuff like that. And so I remember for me, I was like, oh, am I allowed to play this out loud? Like this is crazy. And so, but now I'm used to it. It's normal. And so I think it's just like encouraging, because that really encouraged me in my walk, and then it helped me be bold in my faith at school.
Yeah.
And, I had the soundtrack hyping me up.
Yeah,
and so I think it's dope that we have the same opportunity now to like make music with excellence, but then be the soundtrack to hype people up in their faith as well, to like be unashamed, be bold everywhere they go.
Yeah, I mean, just like she said, I think we have a really excellent team here. Reach the A&Rs are amazing. The producers, every one of us work with, are also amazing. I mean, we have Bees and Kerner doing like crazy engineering. So one thing that we are proud of is the fact that we're putting out like really quality music. And then for me, coming from where I'm coming from, I've always been very explicitly Christian in my music, and just being in a space where that I'm able to flourish in that. It's like, it's nobody telling me, oh, we have to do less of this, less Jesus, or less, I could just like explicitly be Christian, explicitly share my love for Christ and talk about God's love in my music, and I get cheered on every time by the team. It's like, yeah, we love it. Keep going on. It's amazing. It is.
No, I'm happy that that not just Reach, not just y'all, but the fact that God has chosen us, y'all. Like I was talking about that in the last episode. Like God, it's one thing for people, influencers in different industries to see us and to get a chance to get called out to this state or called out to flew out to this country to perform or to be able to host or whatever. But like the fact that God wants us a part of what he's doing is an honor. And I'm so happy that y'all are on the show, be able to talk about your song, give everyone your social media so they can be able to follow you and keep up with you guys.
Okay. So what's up, y'all? My name is Wande. If you want to follow me, you can follow me at OMG. It's Wande. That's OMGITSWANDE.
Yo, what's up, everyone? This is Limoblaze, aka God's favorite baby. You can follow me anywhere on Instagram. It's Limoblaze, LIMOBLAZE _ on Instagram. On Facebook, it's Limoblaze. On Twitter, it's Limoblaze. I don't know if I should say Threads. I don't even know.
Man, everybody's kind of like adjusting the Threads now. You know what I'm saying?
It's the thing now, yeah.
I don't even know what my handle is on there. Maybe search Limoblaze. But YouTube, anywhere you listen to music, it's Limoblaze. Follow me. My website is limoblaze.com. You can catch my tour dates there, and I'd love to see you in any city.
Listen, make sure you guys are tapped into Limoblaze and Wande, and go check out their new songs featured on the playlist. Moambe. Did I say it right?
Yeah, get in there.
Okay, I'm Moambe. Okay, I'm getting the hang of it. Make sure you guys are listening to that song. It drops tomorrow. So go ahead and stream it ASAP. Listen, another episode wrapped here at the 116 Live. Thank y'all for tuning in once again here on Holy Culture Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 154. I'm Mia signing out. Talk to you guys soon.